All right, let's talk, Lord willing, let's make it brief. Let's try to talk briefly about regime change in Iran. Now, I'm not going to be wading in on the debate between Team Bannon and Team Tucker versus Team Cruz and Team whoever. Okay, you can make your decisions about which team, if any, that you're on. I'm not here to try to convince you one way or the other. I want to talk about the logistics. What's actually happening? What is the plan? Because I've read a lot of analyses and I've watched a lot of analyses about the attempted regime change that's currently taking place in Iran, and most of them are getting it wrong. Okay, they are. No offense if you're one of those analysts out there that's missing it, but it's a pretty straightforward plan, and for whatever reason, a lot of people, not everybody, there's been some really good ones, but a lot of people are getting this one wrong. For example, they're saying, oh, they're going to assassinate the Ayatollah. They're not going to assassinate the Ayatollah. They don't want to assassinate the Ayatollah. They want the Ayatollah to live. If they were to assassinate the Ayatollah or kill him in a bombing raid or whatever, that would be bad. That would go against the goals of Israel and the United States, for that matter. That would go against the goals of regime change, because that would rally the people behind the next religious leader, which would probably be Khamenei's son, which not a good thing, right? If you don't know him, I'm not going to go into details, but it would not be a good thing. He's being groomed to be the successor, and oh, God forbid that does ever take place with anyway, again, I'm not going to wade in on that one. This attempted regime change is all about the IRGC. Now, for those who aren't familiar, the IRGC, the Islamic Revolutionary Guard, this is the quote-unquote elite wing of the military. That's how it's being positioned, but it's not quite true. I think when we think of elites, we think, oh, Navy SEALs, right? No, their elite version, it means that they are politically elite. They're the upper echelon, not necessarily in skill, but they do get the better equipment, and they have a heck of a lot more political and economic control, especially even internationally through their Quds force, right? So that's the IRGC is essentially in control just under the Ayatollah. They report to the Ayatollah. Okay, the Ayatollah is the supreme leader, but the IRGC is his seat of power in Iran. The Artesh, which is the general military, which is much larger, by the way, than the IRGC, the Artesh, they're responsible for defending the land and the borders. They're responsible for defending Iran. They have an air force, they have a navy, they have an army, they're the military. The IRGC is specifically designed and was created following the revolution in 1979. They were created to defend three things. Okay, number one, they defend the Ayatollah. Number two, they defend the Islamic Republic, as it's called. In other words, they're defending the government, the ruling party, the ruling force of Iran, and they're supposed to defend the revolutionary ideology, as they call it. Now, it's funny, just funny little side note, is that there are only two nations where the military and the leaders swear an oath to defend a particular ideology or document. The United States with the Constitution, and Iran with what they call, again, the revolutionary ideology. That's it. Everybody else, they defend the nation, or they defend the crown. No, it's only those two. And that's what the IRGC is there for. They're supposed to defend the change itself. The revolution happened, and they were formed to prevent the revolution from unhappening, or to prevent basically a coup. And this is why Israel is attacking the IRGC so much more than Artesh. They are hitting Artesh, especially the air divisions of Artesh, okay? But they're not going after them. They're not going after their leaders. They're hitting them much, much, much softer than they're hitting the IRGC. And this is because they want to weaken the IRGC, because the coup that they're hoping for, the regime change they're hoping for, is going to come from Artesh and the people of Iran. That's the coup that they're pushing for. They want things to basically go back to how they were. And we know this. The writing's on the wall. The writing's very clear. We can even look at the name of the operations, Operation Rising Lion, right? And I think a lot of people have been misquoting that. Oh, it's the Lion of Judah, or the Lion of Israel, or whatever. No. The lion symbolizes the old rulers of Iran prior to the revolution. Before the revolution, It wasn't the Islamic symbols in the center of the flag. The former Iranian flag was a lion. It's very symbolic for the Iranian people because many of them, and I don't know how many it is. Some people say, "Oh, it's a huge percentage of them." Others say, "Oh, you can't know what they think." I don't know what they think, but reportedly, a large number of a large percentage of the Iranian population would love to go back to the way things were, and the pathway to do that is through Artesh. If the military is able, if Israel is able to decimate the IRGC and specifically their leadership, which is what we've been seeing, then there's a chance, they hope, and they've been pushing for this. There's an opportunity for the military to say, hey, you know what? We really don't care about the nuke. We really just want our own people to flourish. And guess what? We really don't like the theocratic rule that we've been under since 1979. So let's take over. And Israel has weakened the IRGC thoroughly to the point that maybe we can actually pull it off. You can see it just by the leaders that they're going after, right? We keep hearing about, oh, this general, this leader, all these military leaders that are getting killed by Israel. They're almost all coming from the IRGC, which again is much smaller than Artesh. I think that the last I checked, the most senior Artesh leader that has been killed so far was like a colonel. Okay, and that's big, but it's still, they're killing like top dogs in the IRGC, and then some random colonel who probably was in the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the top leader in Artesh that has been killed during this war, at least as of a day or two ago, last time I checked. So yeah, they aren't trying to go after the Iranian military. They are going specifically after the IRGC, and if they are able to weaken them enough, then it's believed that they, being Artesh and the people behind them, the whatever percentage, high percentage of the Iranian people that would support them, they are the ones that Israel hopes to initiate a full-blown military coup and to relegate, not to take, drag out the Ayatollah and hang him or anything like that. No, they're not going to go. They're not going to go Gaddafi on him. No, they want him to remain. They do. They want him to remain as a spiritual leader, as a religious leader, as a powerless leader. They want the power to be to the people. They want a democracy. And again, I don't know if that's true, to be clear, as far as I don't know if it's true that the Iranian people really want that. I don't know. But Israel seems to think that. The United States seems to think that. And that's why they're initiating this plan. It's funny because one of the biggest pieces of evidence of this is the notion, it's not being very widely publicized, but has been talk that Mossad and other members of Israeli intelligence, as well as the Israeli military, they are deeply embedded in Iran. They've been working on this for a long time. They have been basically planting the seeds of revolution for a very long time and saying, look, we're going to basically they're sharing the plan. We're going to weaken IRGC to the point that your secular military leaders in Artesh, backed by the people of Iran, will be able to initiate this coup. Now, whose plan is this? Is this a lot of people saying, oh, this is Bibi Netanyahu? I don't think so. Some people are saying that it's Trump and Netanyahu. I don't think so. I think they approved of the plan, but this, the way that all this is playing out, this just tastes like a combination, a plan put forth by Mossad and the CIA in conjunction with each other. They come up with this plan. They think it's brilliant. They work it out. They get the logistics. They go to Netanyahu. They go to Trump. They're like, oh, yeah, CIA goes to Trump, says, this is how we get rid of the nukes. Mossad goes to Netanyahu, says, this is how we get rid of the IRGC. And then everybody's happy in the end. I mean, obviously not everybody, but at least everybody in Mossad, everybody in the CIA, and then everybody, or most people in the Trump and Netanyahu administrations. Again, I'm not picking a side on this one. I mean, I'd pick a side. I'm just not picking a side during this segment. I am generally not in favor of regime change, like ever. It just never works out. Could this one work out? I mean, if ever one could, this is the one. Simply because we are talking about a regime that has been truly, legitimately evil. And I know there's a lot of people out there, what have they ever done? Look, you're going to have a hard time convincing me that a nation led by people who have directly called for the death of my nation, okay, you say, well, yeah, are they Israel's problem? Absolutely. What they say and do to Israel, I'm great. I will let Israel take care of that. But they have said that they want to destroy the United States of America. They have taken actions against the American people. They've taken actions against the American military. And allegedly, they've taken actions or tried to assassinate our president. So yeah, as far as my distaste for regime change goes, this is one where I'm kind of okay with it.
Gold IRA companies are a dime a dozen, especially in conservative media. We vetted out 34 companies and chose Augusta Precious Metals.
With the lowest across-the-board spreads in the gold IRA industry, Augusta saves Americans thousands of dollars.
They are the only major gold IRA company that has zero complaints from their customers. Zero. None.
Augusta Precious Metals does not have commissioned sales reps, which means their goals are aligned with yours.
They were the only gold IRA company that demonstrated integrity and transparency without using gimmicks.
The informative one-on-one web conferences by Augusta Precious Metals answer all of their customers' questions before they make a move.
If you're ready to learn about protecting your wealth and retirement with gold and silver, request your free gold guide from Augusta Precious Metals today.
Visit patriot.tv/gold. That's patriot.tv/gold today.